Show of hands as we're getting seated. Who would have preferred this shirt to your mastermind shirt, Marcus? Take a look around. Marcus, where you at? This is Marcus's fault. You guys have got a boring shirt. All right, my lecture. I was thinking about it. It was funny. Jara was like, how do you deal with your ADHD? I'm like, I don't know. I'm working on it. And so I wrote this down, because after his lecture, I threw this in there. Fern got into Harvard, pretty badass, right? It's funny, because whenever Fern's like working on the curriculum and doing stuff, I always joke that he's good fern hunting. And now it's real. It's like, oh, you're actually good fern hunting. But, you know, we had that theme of chop wood, carry water going into this, and I didn't tell these guys that theme, for the record. That's how my brain works. I was like, they'll figure it out. It's chop wood, carry water. But simultaneously, as I was thinking about that theme and writing a little bit of a presentation for you guys, and Fern was doing his, and then Joel was doing his, I was like, it's really, each one of these is like doing the things we don't want to do, embracing the process. So, while Fern was deciding to get into Harvard, I decided not to be fat. Christian changed that on me. Christian, that's funny. Because I was like in denial, for lack of better terms, right? Like, I don't know, I think it was on a podcast. We talk so much, but I was like, I'm not fat, dude. I'm just inflamed right now. But turns out I was, and if not now, then when? So my father is in his 70s. Dad, come on up here. Just kidding. That would not. I was watching that, and I was like, oh man, that's so cool. Like, Jewish people don't talk about emotions like all that. I was like, we just bottle it up and have Jewish guilt by the time we're 46 and eat a lot. But my father turned 70, and he's like broken. He's a former marathon runner, like did 30 marathons. And you remember your level 1, we talk about decrepitude, right? And maybe it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, and you have this relative that you see them, and they're fine. Then it's like, hey, you need a hand getting up, and then eventually they're barely moving. And that's watching my father go through that. And I was like, Dad, you're 70, dude. Like, when are you gonna like get better? This is not gonna be magic. So I was like finding him all these, like, I'm like, here's a yoga spot, here's the CrossFit that's by you, and he's, typical, I'm not gonna do that. But as I'm explaining that to him, and I'm inflamed, I'm like, hey, like, same for you, dude. Like, it's not gonna be magic. Like, you need to do something about it. They've added things to my slides. You guys are messing with me as we do this, but it's cool. I'll roll with it. We've been talking a lot about business here and your affiliate. And I think what often gets overlooked is taking care of yourselves first. Because without taking care of ourselves, we're not who we need to be for our community and for our members. So I just want to take you through my little 112-day journey, not that I'm counting the days I've been tracking my macros. There I am, fat, huh? First of all, why didn't anyone tell me? Actually, let me clarify. Why didn't anyone but Fern tell me I was fat? Look at my face in that. Like, I look like a squirrel. Like, I look like I'm got snacks in there. Man, I'm embarrassed by that, but there I am today. No dad bod, father figure, right? Father figure. And by the way, every one of you that's come up to me, I genuinely appreciate it. It means a lot. Like, as you know, it's hard work. And for me, I get frustrated with social media. Like, I don't put it out there. To me, the more I put it out there, the less likely I am to do it. I'm like, I thrive when Fern's like, you're fat. I'm like, I'm going to change that. Anybody else like that? Like, I like to just suck it up and do the hard work, just like Fern does. For me, it's right here. So one day I just was like, you know what? Stop being lazy. This works. Start tracking macros. One small step. Don't worry about the food in there right now. What did I eat? Some eggs. Yeah, I was eating pretty clean. But it just started one day. You can make that switch. I tell you guys, I'm not special when it comes to business. I'm definitely not special when it comes to being healthy, fit, and athletic. I'm the opposite of that. It's all about hard work. And what I want you guys to get from this is you can make one small change, just like you're going to do for your business on Tuesday. You should be doing it for yourself as well. So it started with, I worked a seminar actually with Brittany. Where are you at, Brittany? She's back there. Brittany, CrossFit Mafia. And I was, what did I say to you, Brittany? I don't feel good. I was in pain. I hurt my back real bad. And she's like, hey, I think you said something like, yeah, being fat doesn't help. Is that what you said? And I was like, you know what? She's right. Like, I needed to hear that. And I was like, tomorrow, it starts. Tuesday, it was Monday. There's a picture of Best Hour CrossFit, if you guys are not familiar. No drop-ins allowed. But my point being, when I decided to start tracking macros, what also started happening was I started working out more. I was like, oh, this is like a perpetuating cycle. Cool. And I became very good friends with that thing. Do you guys have one of those? C2 bike, it's my favorite piece of equipment because you could just sit on it and start. Just sit on it and start. And every morning, I get on that thing. I'm really proud of that number. I do 30 minutes most mornings. It went from about 9,000 meters to 13,000 meters in 3 months. And then I started going to bed earlier. Right? Like it was like, oh, if I do this and I'm healthier and I'm getting up at 5 a.m., I better get to bed earlier, especially when two monsters wake me up throughout the night. Like my dinosaurs are off. You guys have, like, you need the dinosaurs on to sleep? All right. So I started going to bed earlier because I started waking up earlier. Who was on that year 2 call when I told you guys I'm going to start waking up at 5 a.m. to be better for all of you? Who was on that call? Lindsay, a bunch of you. Jay. And I started listening to this guy. Anybody listen to David Goggins? Really hard to be a whiner when you got this guy yapping in your ear. So I'm like, hey, I'll track my macros. I'll get up early. Started listening to more books because I'm sitting on that C2 bike. Once in a while, I'll throw on this woman. You guys know Brene Brown? So for me, it was that perpetuating cycle. Like, okay, I'm getting smarter. And if you guys are like, cool, I'll do that. I'll listen to a book. I got a great one for you. Right there, best hour of their day. Go buy it. Available on Amazon. Listen to something. Listen to something that inspires you. Doesn't have to be any of those people. And it was this quote. I was talking to Dario right here. He sent me a great book. It's called The Daily Dad. If you guys read The Daily Stoic, there's a version for dads, for moms, right, for anyone. He sent me a copy, and I'm like, that's cool. I've been reading this book, right? Meditations. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things I was brought into the world to do. Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm. That's not what goes through my head when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m., but this one does. Don't be a little bitch. Get out of bed. Every morning, this thing goes off because I don't want to wake my wife. I'm like, get your ass out of bed, right? There's what my desk looks like, and there's a copy of Meditation. Sits right on my desk. I read a little bit of it every day. If you guys, who's read Meditations? Anyone? If you don't, I literally have a hard copy, a Kindle version, and an Audible version. I'm always listening to it. Get that version of it by Gregory Hayes if you're going to get it, because it's like modern English. And here's why this is important, right? Yeah, I'm happy with who I am. I'm happier as a human being right now, right? It's really hard to wake up every day and look in the mirror and be unhappy with yourself. It sets the tone for your day, and it's important because of this. Because there's my wife, and if I'm a better person for me, I'm certainly a better person for her. And if I'm a better person for her, I'm a better person for these two Fern talked about, we were at our mastermind, and do you remember Fern's words? He cheated. Keep going. It was great. It was really great. It was special. Keep going, right? It's already done. My word was patient. And I was finding, man, I'm not happy with myself. I'm not patient specifically for the daughter flexing, Madison, right? I was like, she drives me crazy sometimes. But I was like, I need to be a better father and human being for her, and equally as important for these two. And it's been great. Like, our relationship has changed. We understand each other better. And a lot is because of the support they've given me along the way. All of you exist today, where you are, your current self. And there's a gap there between where you are and where you want to be. And again, whether it's in business or in life, who knows there's a gap right now between where they want to be? Everyone. And for me, it's fitness. I look around, I see Ricky. You don't need to train more, dude. You're already intimidating enough, right? But maybe there's something else. Maybe it's how you show up for your wife, your kids, your husband, your other career. And what I learned was, who did the values exercise with me and Sasha? Yeah, I wasn't living by my values. And not only was I not living by them, I wasn't presenting them to the team. We went through this, and who was I just talking to about that? Buddy, you? Man, game changer. When we all understood each other better by living by their values. Here's my number one value. These are mine, and I'm going to give you the tools to do your own. I'm the best version of myself when I take care of my body, mind, and spirit. That dude wasn't doing it. This was not health. My number two value is family. Spending time with and providing for Roz, Madison, and Bodhi is my North Star. Right? And if I start making every decision, I left here yesterday, told you guys I went to work out. I did not want to work out. But I was like, man, that's my value. Like I told you about business, every decision I make guided by those. This guy was not doing it. Happiness. If it's not fun, why do it? I think you guys all know I like to have a little bit of fun. Maybe not 3 a.m. fun like Lindsay, but I like to laugh, I like to joke, and I don't take myself too seriously. This guy was not happy. Meaningful work. Leaving a legacy through people I have impacted. All right, full disclosure. I was still having fun at work. Boucher. Coincidentally, that's what he wore yesterday. This was when he got it in Denver, right, Brian? Last value, winners win. Winners focus on what they can control and do whatever it takes to get the job done. And this guy was not winning. You can't pour from an empty cup. Fill your cup so you can pour into others, right? What we do is challenging. And it's more challenging when you don't feel fulfilled, when you don't feel like you are living by your values. And how you do one thing is how you do anything. I feel like I coach you guys better. I feel like I'm a better example for you when I take care of myself. It allows me to show up. It allows me to be present. It allows me to have more empathy when I'm taking care of myself first. I don't like getting up at 5 a.m., but I like the way I feel when I'm on calls with you, or I like the way I feel when something's stressing me out and I can handle it better. And no different than fitness, chase virtuosity in your life. Do you guys remember the definition of virtuosity? Do the common uncommonly well in everything you do. There's a reason all of you love Fern so much, because that's how he lives. He could do so much less work and you guys would not even notice. Marcus could. Katie certainly could. But that's not who we are as a company. That's not who we are as human beings. And the challenging part is this is unseen. Did any of you know I was doing this? You just saw a picture of me in the sauna. You're like, what happened? Right? I didn't tell anybody. Because it wasn't for you guys, although it was for me. And it requires self-discipline and personal accountability. Right? I was not telling you because I didn't want to show up because Allie told me to or Carolini told me to. I wanted to show up because I was doing it for this guy. I said this to some of you yesterday, but it's the same for yourself. Old habits get old results. I was eating clean. I was the guy eating clean, not considering 1,000 calories of cashews at the end of the day is not good for you. Old habits get old results. So if you want to make a change, you got to start somewhere. And by doing that, people will try to hold you back. They will say you're crazy. Who's heard that in life about anything they're doing, right? You do CrossFit, that, almost all of you. That's crazy. You're going to own your own business? That's crazy. I put up that picture. This is what happens. Oh, can't be hard work. It's got to be drugs. This one's my favorite. Remember that when you get back to A, it's okay too. You will not have failed and you're allowed to. What a fucking loser. This was on that picture, that transformation picture. Like someone's like, hey, it's okay to fail. What's that? That's society out there. We're crazy people. You all are crazy. You know that, right? Not just because you do CrossFit, because you've decided to own a you've decided, entrepreneurs are like hunters, right? Like every day we're like, hey, we got to eat. Let's go figure this out. It'd be much easier to get a 9-to-5 job. These are the people out there that are unwilling to do it. They're just vocal on social media. I'm not crazy. I'm just not you. So my question to you is, are you living the life you ask of your members? How many of you are like, hey, eat meats, vegetables, nuts, seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. Keep intake to levels that support exercise, not body fat. I don't do that. I wasn't. And it doesn't have to be nutrition. Are you doing the same programming as your members? Are you getting sleep like you encourage your members to get sleep? And it starts with determining your values. There's the QR code. I don't know if it'll work on here. If not, I will send each and every one of you the link. Some of you have it already. It's free to do. Sorry, let me get out of your way. Unless you were taking pictures of me. Hey. If it doesn't work, I will make sure we all get it to you in the, Katie, in the, oh, and by the way, I forgot to remind me at the end. Your values exercise. You have to do this. You have to do this, not Tuesday, Monday. Do it when you're sitting at the airport. Do it when you get home later tonight. It'll take you 30 minutes to an hour. And then when you do it, next week, have your team do it. Because this was, to me, one of the most important things we did in 2023, right? When we went on our 2-week break, the first day we went on break, I said, hey guys, I'd love for you to do this. And seeing everyone's values helped us understand one another better. And now that we know each other better, we know how to interact better, we know what we can ask of each other better, we know if we're in the right roles in our job better. And then I want you to think, what are some immediate changes you can make to live in alignment with your values? For me, it was track macros. That was it. One small step that led to about 1 billion others. Then email me. I want to hear each and every one of your values. Not some of you, all of you. Some of you sent them to me. I know Joby and Tanya sent them to me. Rachel sent them to me. There you are back there. Seriously, we cannot coach you as well as we want to if we don't know your values. Email them to me. Write them out like I did. Define what they mean to you. Todd, you around? Most importantly, remember, winners win.